Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 1 of our Achieving the Vision series. My name is Alyssa Silva, and I am the host today. This interview will focus on key takeaways from some of the best presentations from the 2023 Tour to Shared Vision event. And here with me today, I have Dr. Rhea McIver Gibbs, who is the lead strategic agent from Rialto Unified School District, and Jacobo Lopez, project impact member. Welcome, both of you. Thank you so much for being here today, taking time out of your day. You are here for a reason, so I will let you take over and tell us a little bit about your presentation today.
So, there are my slides. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Dr. Rhea McIver Gibbs, and I'm the proud lead strategic agent from the Rialto Unified School District. And that position is equivalent in districts to a deputy superintendent. But when I began this work of why minority male teachers are important to our district in the state of California and in education, I was the lead personnel agent for our district, seeking to answer the question of how to get more males in our classrooms with our students working to make a difference. And so I'm so happy to have one of the members of Rialto Project Impact with me today, Mr. Lopez, and you'll hear from him about his experiences as we go through the why this work is important. So Rialto Unified School District is in San Bernardino County, and we are what we would consider, what the state considers, fairly large school district with about 23,500 students. If you look at the makeup of our students in our district, we are a minority school district with 88% of our students identifying as Latino, 8% African American, and then other groups as I have listed. And we have an 88% unduplicated student count, meaning in the old language, that would be 88% of our students are receiving free or reduced lunch. But we also have a very high graduation rate. 96% of our students do graduate from our high schools. So when I'm looking at this from the employee lens and we're talking about why male teachers are important in the classroom and what that looks like for Rialto, well, we have 2,700 employees, and that's from certificated to classified and administrators, with approximately 1,361 being certificated employees. Those employees that are working in the classrooms as teachers, counselors, certificated positions, specialists, they're working directly with our students in instruction. And so as you can see there, we have a diversified workforce when you're just looking at it from one angle, just all numbers together, with the majority of our teachers being Latino, followed by white, then African American and Asian. But the next statistic, 73% of those certificate employees are female, with 27% being males. But if we look at it even further, you'll see in the next slide how that male population is broken down. So our current reality in the state of California is that we have on any given day about 10,000 teacher vacancies in our state. A lot changed after COVID-19. Some teachers left the profession. Many teachers, we are of this age group bubble. There's a high number of teachers within 5 years or less of retirement, and a large number of teachers just entering the profession. We really need teachers in special education, math, science, the arts. Bilingual instruction is extremely important, but we also found post-COVID that we still needed a large number of teachers in our elementary classrooms, in our English classrooms, because like I said, we had a large percentage of educators that were eligible to retire from the profession, and unfortunately some that choose to leave. Now, even prior to COVID, we've had a shortage of male teachers, and specifically minority male teachers. And in our district, that focus is Latino and African American males, because as you'll see, it reflects the demographics of our district. So here's our reality in terms of how we measure up with our male teachers and their ethnicities, looking at it from the national lens, the state of California, and in Rialto. So it's amazing how all three of these tend to line up, basically only differing by a couple of percentage points. So, and if I focus on Rialto, as I said earlier, 27% of our teachers are male, but drilling down, 12% of those are Latino teachers, with only 3% being African American. And if I can put a numeric value, out of 1,361 teachers, we have 45 African American male teachers, with only 7 at the elementary school level. So why is it important that students have minority male teachers, and not just minority students, but all students? Well, they serve as mentors and role models to our students, especially those that reflect their images. And research will tell us if an African American student in particular, has at least one African American teacher by third grade, they are 13% more likely to enroll in college. Latino students in our state represent about 56% of our student population, and for Rialto, it's 88%. So it is essential that we provide Latino students with high quality educators that can inspire them and help them thrive. So again, when you look at the research, African American boys in particular from low income houses or households that are exposed to African American teachers for at least just 1 year in elementary school, their dropout rate is reduced by 39%. And you will see different organizations, companies doing this research with similar outcomes of the impact of minority male teachers on the classroom. Also, male teachers are more likely to understand and relate to the importance of culturally relevant instruction, and how important that is to value the home language of the students that they serve. Minority male teacher recruitment is the focus of our district, our county, and the state of California. And there have been initiatives that have been rolled out since Mr. Tony Thurman has been our state superintendent of public instruction, focusing not just on teacher recruitment, but recruiting in particular minority male teachers to reflect the populations that they serve. So, what is Rialto doing to meet this need? Well, we have a unique partnership with Cal State San Bernardino, and we call it Teach Rialto, because we are encouraging our students from within the district to become teachers, and also our employees within the district to become teachers. And then we are also looking at implementing a teacher residency program where we can allow teachers to teach for 1 year after they're done with their coursework in what we call residency programs, so that they can work with a master teacher for 1 year, and their income would be subsidized. So they would not have to worry about the impact on their families if they choose to take a residency for 1 year. So by subsidizing and giving them a stipend, it enables them to stay enrolled and complete the teaching program. So my area that I help in all of these areas within my role in the district, but Rialto Project Impact is near and dear to my heart, in what I directly spearhead for the young men that are a part of this program. So Rialto Project Impact, these are just some visuals of the meet and greet that we had at the beginning of the year as we welcomed in our potential new cohort of young men. We had the Dean Dr. Damuchuku from Cal State San Bernardino, along with some of their leaders that were here with us, as well as our district cabinet level leaders that were there to meet and greet the young men and welcome them into the Rialto family. And so let me explain a little bit more in detail about what Project Impact does. We're focusing on underrepresented males. They can earn a teaching credential, single subject, multiple subject, special education, and we provide them mentors from within our district. And also mentors are provided by Cal State San Bernardino. So we just don't seek to recruit, but we seek to retain. And in Rialto, we have our Grow Our Own motto, which we're very proud of because we recruit young men that are employed in any capacity within our district. So we have grounds maintenance workers, we have custodial staff members. They can be substitute teachers, instructional aides, you name it. If they're employed in any capacity and they have completed a bachelor's degree, they are eligible to be a part of Rialto Project Impact. And this is what we will provide for them. It's financial support. So we're covering tuition, books, parking passes, and technology. And this week, we're very happy to give all of our participants laptop computers that were donated by funds from San Manuel tribe for the students of Project Impact. So they've got brand new laptops so that they can do their classwork as well as the work that they're doing in the classrooms. We provide them with resident sub positions. This means that if they're enrolled in Project Impact, going to be a teacher, we have positions that they can work in as substitutes, and we pay them a salary and full medical benefits for themselves and their families in these positions while they're going to school. So they work during the day and they go to school in the evening as they are furthering their studies. And what's really exciting when they reach that point and they're ready to do student teaching, we are also able to continue paying them in what we call teacher in training positions. And these positions allow them to be with their master teacher for the period of time in student teaching, but we continue to subsidize their income with their pay and their benefits so that they can maintain that course to become a teacher and we don't lose them. Because that's a very critical point in teaching. We're like, all right, you're now ready to student teach, got to give up your job. Okay, we know that you're, got a family and kids, or you're starting a family, or if you don't even have a family, you've got bills and obligations, you're going to school. We want them to finish. And so that's what makes Project Impact. We are there for emotional support, academic support, and financial support. And when they successfully complete this journey, there's a teaching position on the other end, a full teaching position. And we only ask that they stay committed to us for 3 years. We've invested in them. They know our district, they know our students. So we would like them to stay. And if they could stay in Rialto for 30 plus years, as long as I've been in here, in this district, we would be happy for them to do so. But we just ask that they at least give a minimum of 3 years of service once they successfully complete Project Impact. So these are, this is I call it a class picture. It's not all of the students, but it's some of them from the cohorts. We started last year. This year we have 2 cohorts in fall and spring. Fall starting in September, our spring students will start in January. And we're also always recruiting, getting ready for September 2024. And so these are our numbers. And to get about 23 young men to return to school, give up their jobs and their careers that they've been happy with, but to follow their dreams of always wanting to be a teacher, but not knowing how to end one job or career and step into another one. And so, what Project Impact has done and what Cal State has been so instrumental in doing is helping them navigate the complexities of going to school after your bachelor's degree and what it means to complete a certification program. Because if you're not a teacher, I want to tell you there are many, many requirements to be a teacher. And there's a lot of testing, a lot of coursework, and then it's continuous learning.
Mhm.
So it is it's worth every bit of it, but it's not like you just jump up one day and say, I want to teach, and we put you in a classroom. It takes preparation. So I've talked a lot, and I want you to hear from Mr. Lopez, who is he's been with us with cohort one, and he has followed, all the steps, and he's at a point right now where he's almost ready to step into, his full classroom position in probably less than a year. But I want you to hear about his experience and where he is now in the program. And I call them voices of change because our young men are they're changing the lives of their students every day, and they're changing their own lives. And so it's really inspirational. So, Mr. Lopez.
Yeah, hi. My name is Jacobo Lopez. What can I say? Dr. Gibbs has said many of the benefits that Project Impact has made possible. Was born and raised here in the Inland Empire. My mother was a first grade teacher for 31 years in the Colton Joint Unified School District. Uh, Being the son of a teacher, I had my opinions about the profession, about the institution, just all of it. And somewhere around middle school, high school, I became kind of just disinterested, distant from academics in general. I went from getting A's, straight A's in elementary and taking advanced classes, honors classes in middle school, to dropping out of those honors classes in high school, and even at one point failing math and English. And writing was always my strong suit. So I think when I failed English, that was kind of a wake up call. What's going on. Um, and what was going on was I didn't really have any teachers who saw me or would reach out to me, or I didn't really feel seen in general by any of my teachers. I didn't have any minority males as teachers then in high school. And it got to the point where a high school counselor told me and my mother that no 4-year university would ever accept me. And from there, I worked my butt off. I got my basics done. I graduated from high school on time, and started going to San Bernardino Valley. And from there, I transferred to USC. And I lived out there for a decade in the entertainment industry. That's where I was working. Prior to that, I was already going to conventions and doing interviews, media interviews and stuff. And but once I got to USC, everything changed. I was out there predominantly. And after graduating USC in 2015, I had my own production company. And I started that with three other friends. And we ended up making just a lot of commercials. I've written commercials for ramen companies, scooters, um, it, just you name it, I probably pitched it. And I've done casting calls, the whole bit, producing, writing, but none of it. I just felt empty inside. At the end of every day, it's like, what am I doing this for? Who's watching my commercials? And like, great, it's a commercial, but like, there's no meaning behind it. And so, luckily, I still had a really good relationship with my parents. And during that time in the entertainment industry, my mom kept telling me, go back and get your CBEST done. Get your CBEST done. Get your CBEST done. You already have your BA. Just get your CBEST done so you can at least substitute teach as a fallback for anything in any district in the state of California. So I did. I got my CBEST, and I've been subbing off and on in Rialto since 2017. Um, and I enjoyed it here and there. I never really found my footing. But then again, I was like kind of bouncing around between middle school, some elementary schools here and there. And it wasn't until COVID when everything kind of stopped. I think everyone had a chance to kind of collect themselves and reframe, what am I doing with my life type thing. And so I, had to make a decision. Where do I go from here? Because at the time I was doing construction and demolition at Macy's. So I went from doing producing work, writing work to doing manual labor. And so COVID hit. I decided to leave that job. And when we came back to class, the district, in 2021, I believe it was, and my father sent me a text message that Rialto was paying subs $200 a day at the time. And so I said, okay, I'm there. I'll be on my way home. See you tonight for what's for dinner, Dad. What's going on. And so I took up my links up with the district again, and I was still in the system because I've been maintaining my presence there here and there minimally at the time. And then I started to full-time sub in 2021, and it was at the time I had no intention still of ever pursuing a career in education. I had an inkling that I might be interested in being a high school counselor, just because I very much enjoyed USC and that whole experience. And over there, I worked for their athletics, so I was recording football games, practices, and so I got to talk to a lot of different colleges. So I figured high school counselor, talking to different colleges, interesting. Then I started teaching, and I was at Henry Elementary on I think Acacia, and at the time they had a principal there who had come out of retirement to fill a gap there, and I had, I guess, one of the more temperamental classes at the time. I didn't know it, and I didn't really know what I was walking into, but he said, I got the inkling that something was up when he told me, I'll stop by to make sure if you don't need anything, throughout the day. And I was like, oh no, it's never a good sign that the principal's already telling me to look out and that he'll be on his way in. So I get in, and yeah, of course there was, some rowdiness, but he told me to watch out for one boy in particular who was, the class jester, didn't want to get any work done, just out of arm's reach. And by the end of that class session, there was an essay assigned. I think it was a narrative about what they want to do when they grow up. This was fourth grade, and throughout the day, I kept arguing with this kid. He didn't want to do any writing, and I said, "Okay, well, what do you want to do with your life? Who's going to buy your shoes when you're my age? Who's going to buy your video games?" And he said, "Oh, well, I'm just going to go work at Subway." And I said, "That's great. But what if you're still young here? What if you franchise the Subway? What if you own Subway? I don't. It's fine if you want to work at Subway, but shoot higher, aim higher." And I got him writing back then, and I got him to complete the whole. He wrote a page and a half, front and back. And the principal came in, and he saw the work that he did, and he came up to me and he said, "Are you interested in becoming a teacher? Are you pursuing your credential right now?" I said, "No, absolutely not. I don't want to do this full time. I'm just, here because I'm still looking to see what to do with my life, kind of thing." And so that was my first sign. And then I started, I've subbed at upwards of 20 different sites. And then I found my home site, what it is right now. But I subbed for the first time at Trapp Elementary in 2021. And it was different there. The staff looked out for me. The support staff looked out for me. The kids were great. And I'm sure it also helped that the school site is about 6 minutes from where I live currently. So going to work every day over there, or now even, it's like I'm looking in a mirror. I'm seeing the kids who are me at that age. So I started to sub a lot at Trapp. 2021, I subbed there a lot, and I ended the year there doing a long-term sub assignment, first grade, early intervention. back when the COVID rules were still in effect, and I was able to sub pretty much half the year for one class. So effectively, I was their teacher without any intention of getting a credential still at the time. But that class being there, it changed everything. For the first time, I was able to go to work, come back home, smile about it, and felt that I did something, that I helped somebody learn how to read a word, or that I taught them something new that day. And that experience was invaluable. And even to this day, I feel really lucky that I get to wake up and go do it again. So currently I am at TRAP, resident substitute teacher. There's no other place I'd rather be. From top down, that place is an oasis. I've said that to many different people. And I am also currently going to Cal State San Bernardino, graduate student. I'm seeking a multiple subject teaching credential so I can be in an elementary classroom. And yeah, that's pretty much for catching up on where I am at today.
That's so amazing. I mean, from your story from when you were a kid, you didn't have many teachers to look up to, and now you're that person for your students. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
When I was subbing a lot over there, I would typically, because I was a unicorn. I'd get in the classroom, the kids would look at me, who are you? You're a guy, type thing. And so, I had to kind of quell the questions throughout the day because instructional time is instructional time. But I always promise them, if we get all of our work done, in the last 5 minutes of class at the end of the day, we'll play a game where you can ask me anything about anything. It could be, why do volcanoes erupt to how tall are you? So I would play that throughout the school. And one day I would get, where did you go to school? What do your parents do? What's your favorite color? And then I had one boy raise his hand and he said, how do I become a teacher? And that's when I knew, I'm doing something here. Because I know at that age where he was at, I wasn't thinking about being a teacher. But to him, he saw, what my day looked like. And he saw that something he'd rather do when he was older, and that was really uplifting.
That's so touching. How does that make you feel, Dr. Gibbs? I saw you very emotional.
I know. I think about. I often think of teaching. I've been in education for 33 years, the year 30 in Rialto, and so as I have less years left than I have behind me, I want to know that this profession that I love is left in good hands. And so it's like a legacy. So if I can help build that legacy with these young men, and then they are going to do the same, I feel very confident about where we'll be. And to change the face of education from that typical teacher, whatever that may be, female, Caucasian, certain age, to the typical teacher, is African American, is Latino, wears their hair in all different styles and comes from different backgrounds. That's exciting to me. This is also very personal work. I have two sons, and my oldest announced a couple of years ago that he was going back to school to be a teacher. We had never discussed this. He was going to law school, wanted to be a lawyer. And now he's teaching in San Bernardino, a high school history teacher at Arroyo Valley High School. And I couldn't be more proud. And he is one of few males are on campus, even fewer African American teachers on campus. But I'm looking at the feedback that he's receiving from the students and the administrators, and they are inspired by his presence. His instruction, yes, that's very important, but his presence, and they say somebody that has grown up in the Inland Empire, someone that looks like them. someone that listens to their music and has some of their, similar experiences, and they are inspired. There's a quote, I'm not sure who said it, but it's hard to become what you have not seen. And so there's I believe so few males in teaching professions because that's not the role that they've always seen men in. And if we can change that landscape and it doesn't become as Mr. Lopez calls himself, a unicorn, and it becomes the norm, then wow, I want to fill our classrooms with teachers that are experts in instruction and have a heart for culturally relevant instruction and a care for the kids in front of them. And so it's a work of heart. And like Mr. Lopez, I too am from the Inland Empire, born and raised San Bernardino, and went to Rialto schools. I lived in an area called the Bench, so we're right on that border. So I've attended schools in this very district that I've now worked for 30 years. So I've actually been here since I was 5, because from kindergarten through graduating 12th grade, Rialto's been my home. And to come back here and as part of my role in the district, to be able to work with such dynamic young men, such dynamic people at Cal State, to think that it was Dean Don Muchuku's vision for this program to be in the Inland Empire. And so if I, talk to a colleague and they don't know about it, or they're not doing something like this to recruit more male teachers in their classroom, I guess my question is, why not? When everything points to the fact that it is powerful. It's powerful.
Dr. Rhea McIver Gibbs and Jacobo Lopez, thank you so much for the work that you do and for taking time to share everything that you did with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. I do want to. Oh, that's fine.
Here we go.
No, you have the QR code up. So that's, yeah. It's just, I want to thank our, and I can just say this, I want to thank our superintendent, Dr. Cuauhtemoc Avila. He is the supporter of this 110%, and allows me to help lead the work, and our dynamic Board of Education, because you must have that support from your Board of Education, from your community, to make a program like this successful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.